Hello class, how you doing today?
Good.
Awesome. We're here today to learn how to change a flat bicycle tire. You excited? Awesome. So, some things about tires. Bicycle tires are made to withstand tough terrain and constant friction. As tires become worn, they do lose their traction as the rubber contact points, called the tread, slowly begins to wear down. This is due to extended history, surface contact with the road, sidewalks, and even impact events, like hitting curbs, skidding on the pavement, and even the occasional jump. You guys have never done that, have you?
No.
Yeah, I bet. So here, I actually have a front bicycle tire, and this is called the tread. And over time, that's actually what wears down. Did you know that? See, it's pretty cool, huh? Awesome. Although the bike tire itself is the part of the wheel, which is this piece, that makes contact with the road, the bike tire itself is not what goes flat. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, see? Awesome. So, how does a bicycle tire hold air? The bicycle needs to have inflated tires to be able to evenly roll on the pavement. Inside the tire itself is a balloon-like structure called the inner tube. It's shaped just like the tire, which you see here. It's just a big, looks like a balloon type structure. The inner tube is inflated and holds the necessary amount of air to allow the proper operation of the tire. It ensures that the tire remains expanded and will have consistent, smooth contact with the pavement. So see, here's your tire in the tread. When that goes flat, so does the other part. When it's pushed down, it goes flat and you can't ride it. Make sense? Awesome. So, many reasons why a bicycle tire or inner tube will go flat. The puncture. During a bike ride, a sharp object punctures the tire, in turn, which punctures the inner tube and causes the air to leak out. So if you were to hit a nail, the inner tube also would get poked, wouldn't it? And all the air would come out, and your tire would go flat. And unfortunately, you have to get your tire fixed before you can ride the bike again. Your valve stem potentially could leak. The valve stem is the part of the inner tube that the air is forced into when filling. A faulty valve stem can cause leaking. This is the valve stem, this little black thing right here. And that's what you put your air into. Did you know that? You did know that? Awesome. Cold air. When it gets cold out, tires can also become flat. Because when it gets cold, molecules contract. The air actually goes down, shrinks. Didn't know that, did you? And then dry rot. Over time, the rubber inner tube can become dry and brittle. This can eventually lead to air loss because it actually gets really dry and a crack and the air escapes out. Isn't that crazy? Didn't know that, did you? So, punctures, cold weather, and this is your valve stem that sometimes can actually go bad. So when you're going to change a bicycle tire, there are some required tools and parts that you're going to have. 2 flathead screwdrivers, which I have to have right here. You're going to need a tool set, which is going to have your socket and your ratchet. You're going to need a little more. You're going to need a new inner tube. That's important, isn't it? This is the valve stem I was talking about that you're going to fill it with. You need an air pump, which I don't have on the table, but you're going to have this to be able to pump up the new tire. And you also need an air pressure gauge. What this does is when you put it on the end of the valve stem, it goes psst, and the thing comes out, and it tells you how much air is in it. Isn't that cool? Pretty neat. All right, so when changing a flat bicycle tire, removing the front tire from the bicycle is the first thing you have to do. If the tire is flat, you got to take it off the bike, okay? Again, front bicycle tire off of your bike, your old bike actually. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the ratchet and appropriate socket and position the socket on the lug nut. So, for example, this little thing here, this looks like a bolt, that's a lug nut. You're going to put the socket on there like this and you're going to turn it. If you go to the left, which I have clearly put on there right there, just turn the ratchet counterclockwise, which is left. It's not necessary in all cases to remove the lug nut completely. See, I didn't take these all the way off because it just slips right off. In the mechanical world, there's a saying. If you want to loosen something up, you turn it to the left. If you want to tighten it up, you turn it to the right. It's called lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. You never knew that before, did you? That's pretty cool. Repeat step 2 for the opposite side. So once you loosen this side up, you're going to also go on the other side and loosen this side up. Take the wheel off. Remove the bicycle tire. For rear tires, you have to remove a chain guard. You also have to remove the chain and the brake lock. There's a lot more work involved with that. Okay, so again, get your ratchet with your socket. You're going to go to the left, and then you're going to take the, unloosen the lug nuts and take the wheel off. Okay. Changing a flat tire, removing the tire and inner tube from the wheel. Now, I'm not going to take this one all the way apart today for the sake of time. What I will show you is, what you're going to do is place the wheel on the ground or on a hard surface. The best to do it is at waist level to reduce straining your back. So like right here, I have this is perfect. You're going to insert a flathead screwdriver between the rim and the wheel of the tire. So if I was going to do this one today, this is the actual rim and this is the tire. This has air in it, but if it didn't have air in it, I'd put it in there and I would pull this back until what's called a bead. Basically, the edge of the tire starts overlapping the rim. And then, you're going to twist the screwdriver so the tire is now showing on the outside of the wheel. Approximately 6 inches down, you're going to repeat the same step with the other screwdriver. So it would look something like this one here, and then this one here, and you pop it out. And then usually you only have to do it a couple times and you can slide the screwdriver around. But sometimes you have to do it more than that. But once you get it loose, it usually just goes, well, you can just lift it up all the way around. And then, what you're going to do is slide the second screwdriver around the rim, make sure the tire is fully overlapping. And then you're going to basically remove the rest of the tire, because at that point, you're only going to have this one side on there, and you're just going to pull it off the rim. Make sense? So I've got a photo up here of a rim. You can see there's no tire on it. Here's an actual tire, and that's a tire with an inner tube right there to show you how that sits inside of it. Isn't that cool? Awesome. Now, you're going to install the new inner tube in the tire. So all you're simply going to do is get all your parts here. You got your inner tube and tire and your rim. You're going to lay them all next to each other. You're going to position or place the new inner tube inside the tire. Again, it looks just like that tire, but it goes on the inside, right? Position the tire and rim to begin installation. Be sure to place the valve stem in line with the valve stem opening on the rim. So when you put that the valve stem is part of the inner tube. So you want to make sure that you actually, when you put it on the rim, that the valve stem, there's a little hole that's right there. And that valve stem slides right through. Pretty cool. So once you do that, you're going to pop the first outer edge, or called the bead of the tire. Which is our next step. Slide the first bead of the tire of the rim and ensure that the first bead is in position around the entire rim. So that very first line, or edge, you're going to slide all the way over the rim. And then you're going to just basically squeeze it together. You can sometimes use a screwdriver and force it in. You're going to slide the second bead of the tire over the rim and ensure that the entire bead is positioned inside the rim. Eventually, it's going to look just like this without air in it. Because all you're basically doing is putting the tire back all the way on the rim. Does that make sense? All right, in some cases, if you may use a screwdriver, just slip the final part of the bead over the edge of the rim, because sometimes they get really hard. So at the very end, you may have to force it in there. But again, now it's basically all the way on the rim. But there's still no air in it yet, so you have to wait. So in this case, you can see the rim, there's the valve stem. Again, this is your parts. All right, we're almost done. Inflating the new inner tube. Ensure that the valve stem is securely in place and accessible, which we did. Remove the valve stem cap. There's a cap right here. You're going to take it all the way off. I can get it off. This black tire is really small. And then that's what you actually put your air pump onto right there, and that's what fills it. Okay. Attach your air pump. You're going to check the side wall of the tire for air pressure. So if you look at the side of the tire, on this one, it's going to say it over here somewhere. 20, here it is. Nope, 35 pounds. Holds 35 pounds of air. So what you're going to do is start pumping your tire up, and that inner tube is going to start expanding, and the tire's going to start getting hard. Can you feel that and see if it's hard yet? See if it's going to, oh, is it a little hard? It's kind of hard, isn't it? It's a little bit, and it's got air in it. So then what you're going to do is when you get enough air in there, you're going to take your air pressure gauge, and you're going to check it. You're going to go, whoop, that one's doesn't have very much air in it, does it? Nope, see? if I had my air pump in here, I'd pump it up all up to 35 pounds, and this thing would slide out until it gets to right there and say you have 35 pounds. That's how you know you have enough air in there. Then you're going to put your valve stem cap back on, and now your tire itself is fixed. It's ready. Replace valve stem cap and ensure that it's secure. This shows you where you're going to look for your air pressure, and that right there shows you what it looks like when you air it up. Now, reinstalling the bicycle tire. The bicycle front forks facing up, which again was this getting a room for the bike. But you got an idea here what the forks look like when they're up in the air, right? You're going to slide the tire right back on. Ensure that the bicycle tire is even on both sides. Hand tighten the lug nuts. So you're going to basically tighten these with your fingers until they come snug. Okay? Use the correct socket. Turn the ratchet to the right or righty-tighty, right? So you would put it on there and you would go that way with it until it's tight. Make sure that the wheel doesn't come back off. You're going to second check each lug nut you're going to check it a second time to make sure that they're tight. And then you're going to spin the wheel to check for smooth balance and rotations. You're going to do that so it doesn't look like it's wobbly or anything, because that wouldn't be any fun with your riding it. Then you're going to position the bicycle upright and it's now ready for use. So there's your socket set, your lug nuts, and then that's the wheel that is reinstalling. So in summary, a flat bicycle tire is a result of a puncture, cold air, a valve stem leak, or dry rot. Always use correct tools when performing a bicycle tire repair. Use a socket set, 2 flat screwdrivers, an air pump, air pressure gauge. Safely remove the wheel, the tire, and deflated inner tube. Reinstall the new inner tube into the tire. Position the tire onto the rim and inflate. Reattach and secure the front wheel to the front forks. Position the bike right side up and you're ready to ride your bicycle. And congratulations, you are now ready to ride your bicycle. And that concludes our training.